Hey guys, this is Jake Halderman, Jake Unboxing here, giving you a personal prediction for David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade. And as always, this is just my take, of course. Your predictions can be left down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear them all. This is going to be a hotly contested fight, I'm sure, for a number of reasons, so love if you left all that down in the comments section below. And a little bit of fight info here. We have David Benavidez taking on Demetrius Andrade, as mentioned. This will be at the Michelob Ultra Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, airing live on pay-per-view, the last Showtime pay-per-view of all time, to be exact, in the super middleweight division with no title on the line. Well, this could be a very intriguing fight for a number of reasons. While no title is on the line, you do get the sense that the winner has a world of options available to them should they look impressive, particularly that Canelo Alvarez carrot that always kind of dangles over fighters between 160 and 175 pounds. For Benavidez, he's stepped up a bit as of late and has continued to beat people up and often stop his foes while doing it against slightly better competition. Andrade, on the other hand, has fought only 4 times since 2020, and the opponents haven't been world beaters. And I mention this particularly because both fighters have effectively been criticized for their quality of opposition. Well, now is the time for them to show themselves against another guy who, at least on paper, might be their best opponent. Andrade is the underdog here, and while he is, I think he's skilled enough and has the ability to win this fight. Benavidez has been more active. He's the favorite for a reason because of what he's been doing as of late, not to mention his own skill as well. So, does the power and the busy work of Benavidez rule the night, or does Andrade's skills prevail in the end? Let's break this one down. Starting off with Benavidez. For Benavidez to win, you want to work the left hook. The left hook will work for a few reasons. To start, it's one of your better shots, so naturally it's going to be something you want to get going, but it also helps set up a lot of other work for you. You have to remember that Andrade is a southpaw, and the left hook is a shot that's going to be closer to him just in terms of your stance that can also help land that right hand, which many people are going to consider that lefty killer to begin with. It lines him up by landing that left hand, and if he's circling in that direction, all the better because it cuts off that exit. I think that in this case that is of particular note because you have Andrade who is likely going to be trying to circle and take those escape routes that you're going to give him. You have to try and cut that off as best you can, of course, with your own lateral movement, but also with the shots you're selecting to throw and when you're throwing them. If you can time it for when he's trying to circle away, it can help kind of push him more backwards in a straighter line that allows for you to cut off the ring and then start doing some damage. I would also say pin Andrade down. As I've mentioned, Andrade is going to elect to move. I think he has to. He isn't winning a brawl. He's not looking to stand and trade and go toe-to-toe. He doesn't have the power for that, might not have the chin for it, and certainly isn't going to try and do that in his second fight at 168 pounds. To make him sit and fight, you'll need to cut off the ring. That's going to be incredibly important for you if you're Benavidez. You'll need to force him back and not lateral. If he's moving to the side, that's his wheelhouse. That's what he's looking for. Get him on those ropes and in those corners. While footwork will ultimately be what gets you there, and that's what you have to be preparing for with your sparring, etc., you can encourage it by anticipating his moves and landing those sweeping shots during those exits that kind of keep him second guessing and maybe having to take that step back as opposed to the side. As mentioned, that can be the left hook, but it also can be a right cross. It just has to be something thrown when he's looking to escape that discourages that action and forces him back. And finally, pile on the pressure. You have to close the gap. Andrade likely fares better from the outside, just boxing. While he has a little bit less reach than you by about an inch or so, he is going to be quick enough at times to get the jab off and kind of build from there. You have to be able to pile on enough pressure that he's not comfortable enough doing that. You also want to make Andrade feel the size difference. Again, he has really only just debuted at 168 pounds, whereas you're a lifer in super middleweight. Make him feel that difference. Otherwise, what is the point of having the reach or any kind of size advantage that you might have? Just make sure not to smother your own work. You have some reach on him. You want to land those longer shots. Then when he's pressed back, find that perfect range to land quality work while maintaining the space that you need to be effective. Because if you're just smothering your own work, you're not doing yourself any favors. You need the distance correct to be sure that you're landing the sort of shots you need to that will have the impact you're looking to have. Now, switching over to Andrade, for Andrade to win, you want to lead with the jab. You have a tendency at times to lead with that backhand, and at times that can be successful. Even in this fight, it can be done here and there, but the jab is ultimately your likely better choice. The backhand can already be hard to land. You know, it's a further away punch. It's just going to take longer to get there. But that's especially true when you're fighting someone like Benavidez, who's quick, who has more reach on you, has broader shoulder. He just is going to have the chance of countering you, especially with that left hook if you're throwing the left hand as a southpaw. That's not a good trade for you. Instead, jab. double jab, jab to the body, get him to kind of think of other things. Then you can start firing that backhand behind it or as a single shot here and there to mix it up. But if you're leading with it too often, he will potentially time it, counter it, and again, that's just not a good trade for you. I would also say don't force the exchanges. Benavidez can at times sometimes wait his turn. He'll kind of shell up and wait to throw while you're getting your work done. Then he'll kind of throw it towards the backhand of your punches. Don't give him that chance. You want to land your blows, keep them quick, nice and tight, and then either tie him up or move out of harm's way before Benavidez looks to land. I would prefer the second option for you of moving out of the way because he is probably too physical for you to tie up all the time, but either way you have those two choices. Benavidez will eventually fire, and so 2 or 3 shots is probably the range you're looking for until you're building into the fight a bit more. You just don't want to linger on the inside too long when you don't have to. Again, tie him up or move circularly. Do not back up in those straight lines and give him those shots for too easy a cost. And I think you can exchange at that rate, but certainly don't keep it too long. And finally, I would say focus on the body. While you might not be a huge puncher, the body doesn't need a lot to feel the force of those shots. So that's an area you're going to want to target. Also, Benavidez balloons up in weight between fights and at times can have a soft midsection. So test that. You have to. See if it impacts his performance much more than maybe a shot to the chin might. If it can tire him and kind of keep him a little bit more within himself and not really fighting his typical fight, then you're going to be able to be a lot more willing to get inside and sap some of that energy with those power shots yourself. Then really get some of your offense going. But I think you have to weaken him more by going downstairs a bit before you get that off. Those backhands will be there for you after that, including the jabs as well. You'll have your whole arsenal at your disposal, and you can do this, of course, by attacking the body. Now, in terms of my pick here, while the skill of Andrade might be enough to win this fight, my pick here is with David Benavidez. Andrade has been inactive, untested, his fault or not, and is now in his middle 30s, fighting the biggest and best opponent of his career, a relatively active foe who's pretty skilled at that. I think that this is going to show up on the night. Andrade may start fresh, start better, land that jab and quick flurries and escape. He might do this for a while, even a handful of rounds. However, I think Benavidez catches up to him and lands the left hands that settle Andrade down. Once that happens, Benavidez steps it up, gets through those gears a bit more, and puts together faster combos and thudding power shots that will really have an effect. Andrade will look to survive at this point, but David doesn't let him off the hook, landing those left hooks of his own and the follow-up barrages that will ultimately put him down. Andrade might rise, but he is stopped soon thereafter. Winner, David Benavidez via late fight stoppage. And in terms of the betting odds here, we have Benavidez coming in as a sizable favorite, a -385, with Andrade coming in at a +275. Of course, you can find different odds at different books, but that's what we're going with here. Really, unless you can find a parlay you're comfortable with Benavidez, I think it's a little too wide because I do think Andrade has some skills. Untested or not, a bit older or not, I do think he's a live dog, and so you want to be careful with wagering too much there. For Andrade, again, he's a live dog. You're getting almost 3-to-1 odds. If you're really feeling confident about that, that's a pretty good line. Not much more to it. A nice medium-sized bet makes a lot of sense there. Again, Benavidez might be the favorite for a reason, but that's certainly something you could consider if you're leaning Andrade's way. In terms of the over-under, it's set at 10.5, with the over coming in at -150 and the under coming in at +115. In my personal opinion, I actually kind of like under in this particular case. Not because I'm getting slightly better odds for it, though that does help, but because I think that while I'm saying it's a late stoppage, I'm looking more in that 9th or 10th round. If it happens there, then of course that pays off. So certainly if I'm laying these sorts of bets, that's what I'd be looking at. But of course, everyone of course has to make their own bets there and kind of do with these odds what you will. But in any event, those are your odds. And my prediction record as of this recording is 36-12 with 23 exact. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Love to hear your thoughts, predictions, bets, so on and so forth. Of course, please be sure to check out all the social media here. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that stuff. I greatly appreciate it. And of course, be sure to check out junboxing.com for schedule, results, betting odds, rankings, grades, all that good stuff. And as always, until next time.